Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Gail.
So, bless-itation. How many of you have the perfect relationship, the perfect job, the perfect whatever it was you wanted to manifest in your life, and now you're doing it? You're living it, right? And then how many of you have that little voice in your head that says, that other shoe's going to drop? You just wait. Come on, be honest. We all have it, or we did. Some of us have kind of moved through it. It still comes up for me. You know, I remember sitting, I described where Paul and I sit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to have our cup of coffee when he first comes home from work. It's a porch right off of our bedroom, and it's beautiful. And we were sitting there one day, and I thought, my life has never been better. And the next thought I had was, oh my God, I don't want to say that out loud because somebody might come and take something away from me. Now that isn't an adult thing, is it? It's not logical, makes no sense, except to possibly a 2 or 3-year-old. Where something happened and she created this reality where things could be taken away from her. So for me, the story was I didn't belong. And I couldn't remember ever belonging, not in my family, not with my friends. Now on the outside, did it look like that? No. No, I had friends. I looked happy. But there was this inner voice, this thing that kept talking to me. Ever since I was little. So when you grow up, that shadow side is going to show its head until you hear it. Or until you not only hear it, until you decide to heal it. And so one of the processes that I love that I'm doing right now is I'm taking a class with Dr. Gary and Dr. Jane Simmons, and it's based on their work for the quantum process, and it's the art of living, the art of quantum living. And so for the next 21 days, every day something happens where I feel the world is against me, because what did we say last week? The world's never against you, right? God isn't against you, as Cynthia reminded me because she's doing A Course in Miracles. And one of their practices recently was to remember that God wants you to be happy. Because remember, it is that one constant vibration of love. It doesn't know anything else. Why would it want you to suffer? Why would it want you to have a dark night of the soul? Those aren't God qualities. Those are human conditions. And if they're human conditions, they were created by us, which means what? We can heal them. And so for the next 21 days, every time something pops up into my life that looks like the world is against me, I get to answer a series of about 8 questions to find out what is the shadow quality and what is the God quality that wants to be expressed instead of this? And then at the end of the 21 days, the idea is that I will start to come from that God quality even when something happens, instead of going immediately to the hurt, immediately to the defend. I come from that place of love. And so it's an interesting thing to look at. When do you feel that the world is against you? When somebody says something to you, when somebody does something, it's all things out here. And yet what we teach and what we know out here only happens because of what's going on in here. And so it's an inside-out job. So one of the practices that we've been given, and I want to share it with you, is called RAIN. Have you ever heard of it? Because it's been around since the 80s. And sometimes I think, oh, this is brilliant. And then I'll say to somebody, oh, and they'll go, oh yeah, I've known about that for 30 years. Well, I didn't. It's new to me. So it's called RAIN. And the first thing to do is to recognize. To recognize, oh, okay, there is something going on here. Somebody has said something. Somebody has done something. I shared with the class that I am in because what they had said was, if nothing happens, then make up a situation. Act as if, because you need to do this 21 days in a row consecutively. And I said, I don't have to make something up. Courtney will appreciate this. I said, I just need to climb in my car. In a heartbeat. I just need to, I don't even think I need to go on the freeway. I just need to drive down Central Avenue with all the trucks. I'm sure I can rank her up to some emotion. But the idea is to recognize, not from your head. How many of you love to stay in your head? I know I do. It's comfortable there, isn't it? Yeah, it is really comfortable there. It's a great place to be. Not a lot of healing going on when we stay in our heads. So what I want you to do is when this happens, first of all, the first thing that you're supposed to do is just, while you're recognizing, just rub your arm up and down. You could do both arms if you want to. It's like hugging yourself. When you do this, it calms your brain. It tells your brain everything's fine. So your brain's kind of involved. But then really feel into your body. Like, where do I feel pissosity? Right? What is it that I am angry about? What is it that was said or done perceivably to me? And so recognize it. Figure out, is it in my chest area? It's got to do with your heart. Is it down here? It's where your power is, your solar plexus. Do you feel it here? It's your voice, right? So any place in your body, you're going to feel something. And so just recognize, where is that angst in me showing up? And then what you're going to do is you're just going to allow it to be. You're not going to try to fix it, because we don't. Here's the thing. I think, if I say this right, when you handle an emotion, it only lasts 90 seconds. I was like, seriously? I know there are times in my life where they lasted a lot longer than 90 seconds. It's because I wasn't handling it, right? I was either brushing it off or I was exploding in whatever I wanted to do to get rid of the emotion. And what happens when I do it by being angry is that the emotion stays with me. So what if I decided to find out, okay, there's the emotion. It's in my heart. Feels kind of heavy. Wonder what that's about. So as you're allowing, you start to investigate. Like, what is that about? And our first reaction is going to be something that happened, oh, I don't know, last month, last year. Keep investigating. Most, if not all, of your emotions, and if Dr. Carol Batt was here, she'd be sitting here nodding her head. Say 7, Gail. 7 years. Most of those angsty emotions that we carry around with us like badges happened to us from the time we were born until we were about 7 years old. We made up our mind about the world and how it treated us by the time we were 7. And then, because nobody gave us tools on what to do with that information, we started creating evidence, because even at 7, the universe is always saying yes to me. So I don't feel like I belong. Okay, Gail, I'm going to show you how that shows up in your life over and over and over again. It never failed me. It was a belief that my little 1 or 2 year old made, and then I just created evidence in my life to make sure that I felt that way. And so through the process, what I got was this sense of I don't belong. What was interesting was sitting in the unpacking of that, the investigation of it was, okay, I remember when it happened when I was very, very small. And then how did I handle that? How would any child handle feeling they didn't belong? Well, first of all, you got to be kind of gregarious because you want people to think that you belong. You don't want anybody to know. I guess you either turn into an extrovert or an introvert, and I chose extrovert, obviously. But I also know that what I did was I drank and used drugs. Because you don't have to belong when you've anesthetized yourself. For anybody that's in recovery, they would probably testify to this. You can act any way you want to, because who cares? You don't, because you've lost all sense of inhibition and common sense. And you can also don't care how the world treats you because you just don't care. So that was my shield, right? I didn't have to belong because you don't care about me. I certainly don't care about you. So that was part of the investigation. But then as I listened and started to dig deeper, what I realized was, and a couple people in the room know this because I sent them a text, that what I was using now to protect myself from being hurt, which is interesting. I've never been happier in my life. I know that I adore my husband. I know that he adores me. And yet to protect myself, guess what I always kept with me? Wasn't drugs, wasn't alcohol, cell phone. So, breakfast in the morning, I go down, I make Paul's lunch, I make breakfast, he's sitting there, time with his wife before he goes to work, we're supposed to be watching TV, I'm on my cell phone. This is important stuff on my cell phone I have to do, by the way. You know, I'm sending out Rev Gail's wake-up call, I'm posting on Genesis Family, I'm posting on Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, things that could probably be done after my husband went to work, and yet, nice shield. At home, at night, after we've had dinner, because I log all my food, so I need my cell phone until then, just so you know. And what would happen would be, we'd be watching TV, and I would be on my cell phone. Because I have a very busy mind, and I need something to do other than just sit and watch TV. Shield. It was a shield. And so the commitment that I've made is now, in the morning, no cell phone until my husband goes to work. And in the evening, no cell phone after I log my food. Because I realized that this was not only, I'm sorry, this is bothering me. This was not only my protection, my last little bit of hanging on, because what if I really give myself fully to this relationship? No holds bars, no cell phone, nothing between me and him. Oh my God. I could get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt, right? And yet, until you break down all of those barriers, your assumption is the world's out to get you. The world is against you. God is against you. You can't have faith. You can't have trust. You can't be open. If I can't be in an honest, open relationship with my husband, sorry, people. I certainly am not going to be in an honest, open relationship with you. Now, does it feel good saying that to you? Because I've been the senior minister here for 5 years, and I've been pretty open and honest with you, but to tell all of you there's a piece of me that you just didn't get. Because I didn't know I was holding it back. It wasn't intentional, but it's that place of how much faith and trust are you going to have in the divine? When are you really going to lay down your cross? Because every single one of us has nailed ourselves to a cross. The cross of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not, or I am. I'm a bad person because, I'm a bad mother because, we've all got our stories. Is there somebody here that does not have a story? I think we all do, every single one of us, because we're human. And as much as I would love to blame my parents, my brother, my sister, my neighbors, the TV set, they all had a part in it, yes. However, truth of the matter is I'm an adult now. Like I said last week, if I'm still living from that place, that's my fault. That's on me. My mother, my sister, my brother, my dad, they don't live with me in my head anymore unless I allow it. I get to choose. I get to choose who I am and how I show up in my life and with other people. Just like you do. So I invite you, when something happens out here, and you feel that pull, that desire, whatever you want to call it, to respond, to push back, to say hell no, to just take a minute. And really recognize what's going on in your body. Because whatever is happening in your body has nothing to do with what's happening out here, except the history behind it. And the history behind it, like I said, is not the current thing. And then you allow yourself to be with it. Don't run in and try to fix it. You can, but you're going to miss the juice. And what I know to be true, if I run in to fix anything without doing the work, what's going to happen tomorrow? It's going to show up again, only what happens this time? A little bit bigger, right? Any of you been hit by the proverbial 2x4? Or a Mack truck? Universe wants you, your inner self wants you to be the best version of yourself you can be. There is a saying that there is a place within you doesn't know any damage, doesn't know any hurt, doesn't know any pain that you've ever experienced. What if you went there? And then you investigate. So when was the first time I felt this way? And when you think you have the answer, ask yourself the question again. What was the first time? The very first time. I've been told by therapists and intuitive healers, you weren't nurtured as a baby. Well, probably not. My mom and I almost died in childbirth. And I was kind of a physical mess when I was born. So I am sure she didn't have a lot of opportunity to nurture me. And I'm also sure it's hard to get attached to a child that you have been told probably before she's 1, she'll either be a vegetable or dead. I would think it would be hard. So I'm not blaming my mom, it's just a reality. But do I want to go through my life living from that place of poor, pitiful me? I was never nurtured. No, I start nurturing myself now. Guess what the N stands for? Nurture. Do something. After you've gone through this process, don't go, oh, great, life is good. Let's move on. Next event, please. Take time to nurture yourself. Really nurture yourself. For Dr. Jane Simmons, she said that's a massage. She goes in with the intention that when she is on that massage table, her whole body, her spirit, every piece of her is going to be nurtured by these healing hands. Could be you just go out and sit in the sun. I mean, who expected sunshine in April in Washington? I'm delighted. But you know, just to recognize nature, go for a walk. What is it? Ask your soul before you end the process. How can I feed you? How can I thank you for walking through this with me? How do you nurture yourself? What is it? Interestingly enough, right now for me, I have got a arm that could move better than it does. And so I found a chiropractor in Kent, and she does deep owl type painful massage to work, because she said my back is like hard cottage cheese. It's just like bumps of whatever they call that in your muscles. But to me, that's nurturing. I would rather have somebody do that and eventually be able just to swing my arm up over my head without going, ow, that's painful. Right? And so do something that nurtures you. And don't ask permission, and don't ask other people, what should I do that nurtures me? Seriously? You should know what nurtures you. You should know what nurtures you, what feeds your soul, what makes you happy. Because remember, as I said in A Course in Miracles, God wants you to be happy. And we spend too much time thinking that we're supposed to suffer. That is not what the Buddha said. Attachment is suffering. Separation is suffering. I don't believe that the Buddha meant you had to suffer. It's that we choose to, because we choose to see life from our human self instead of seeing life as the truth of who we are, God-informed. We are here to change the world, one person at a time, us, individually. We get to do the work. We change us, people around us will change. Let's pray. Let's wait just a second. Get comfortable. I'm going to step back a little bit because I think it was Karen last week that was really concerned that I got very close to the edge of the stage. So let's just breathe that in. Rain. Recognition, investigation. Oh, wait a minute. Recognition, allowing, investigation, nurture. The elements of God that is the truth of who I am. Recognizing right here and right now that there is just this one life. This life that is God, that is whole, complete, and perfect. That is over us, around us, through us. And here's the thing, as us. As us. It knows no separation. It knows no division. It only knows the perfection of who it is, the love that it vibrates at. Its joy is for us to be joyful. Its excitement is for us to be excited about life. We get to express as it. Think about that. We get to express as it. Wow. How good does it get when we really claim that good that is God as us? How good is life when you choose to know there is nothing, no thing, no one against you? Ernest Holmes had stated in his Sermon by the Sea, show me one person who has nothing against them and everything for them, and I will show you the next Jesus. Let's be that. Let's choose to express the love that is inherent in our being. Let's choose to not make up stories about the who's, the whys, the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas. Let's just be from this day forward that place where God lives vibrantly, joyously, lovingly. So I give thanks for that. I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for this community. I give thanks for this knowing that it all begins with me. Inside, out. So with that, I release these words, knowing that as it is spoken, it is done. God has said yes, because that's what it does. It's always saying yes. So it is in that yes, I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.